Oh, you were? Okay. All right, we're on, ladies. Okay.
Hi.
Hi. So, everyone, we're here with Dana Mauriello.
Thank you for having me over.
Of course. So, Dana is co-founder of ProFounder.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard of ProFounder,
yeah, tell us what you do.
So ProFounder is a crowdfunding platform, and we help small businesses raise investment capital from their communities. So you were asking before what's the difference between ProFounder and the other crowdfunding sites out there, and it's that we're the only site that allows you to raise investment capital.
woohoo!
Woohoo! And what we love about ProFounder is that they take all the work out of it, and all you have to do is decide how much you want to pay back to your investors and for how long, and then they do all the paperwork, and it streamlines the process, especially if you're reaching out to friends and family. It can be very messy, and they just take all of that out for you. So visit profounder.com, and they're
going to be launching next week.
Yes.
Yes, now they're in beta, but they're officially launching next week, and we're totally excited.
Very exciting.
So one of the things the reason why we decided to whip out the camera or the Mac is because we were talking about how the topic of asking, and how if you don't ask, you don't receive. And Dana had a really fascinating story about how people would do all this work and get ready for investment, and once they would go on ProFounder, there was the difference between people who succeeded and raised $60,000 versus people who raised nothing.
Was just the ask.
Was just the ask.
In every case.
Every case. So we're really fascinated by this because we find that women especially have a challenge asking for what they need. And not just in business, right? Also in relationships.
Like in actually every area of their lives.
I mean, we all have challenges, but I find especially women, girlfriends, when they're like, oh, he hasn't done this. Well, did you ask for him to do it? So what tips do you have for asking, getting comfortable with asking?
Yeah, so looking at the entrepreneurs who've all tried to raise funding on our platform so far, we found that the ones who are most successful, before they even published the raise, before they even thought about asking, they made a list of who they were going to ask. So first they made it seem real.
Yeah.
What we found really hurt people is when they went from thinking that this is just this fantasy thing, and this was just this thing in their head, and then all of a sudden there was this really stark line that became real. We found that people who kind of came to that moment of actualization earlier were more successful. So one of our entrepreneurs that was our first to successfully raise in the site, and we really admire, he made a list of everyone he was going to ask. So he knew them by name. It wasn't this amorphous thing he knew who he was going to go to. He also didn't hesitate. He went to do it right away. He never phrased it as asking for something. It was always offering an opportunity. Because he felt totally confident that his business was going to be successful, and this was a great opportunity that you were going to share with someone.
Absolutely.
And we always liken it to the analogy of if you get a great haircut, you're going to want to tell your friends about this awesome hairdresser.
Right.
It's not something you're going to be afraid to share. So it's the same thing that we find here is if you're confident in your business and you're confident in the success that it'll have, you should want to share this.
Absolutely.
So
love that.
that was the first step in framing it in terms of an opportunity. We also found that the resilience of being able to be told no and then be able to go back again was the next biggest key. Because even the successful people certainly were told no once, twice, 10 times, but they just kept going. They didn't stop. And another thing that people did is they created multiple opportunities for people to get involved. So it was never a black and white, I ask, you say yes or you say no. There's always something that you can do to help me, and I know what that list of things are. So the ask was, So we had people going out with what I thought was very clever. I want to offer you the opportunity to support this business, right? So support the business is the umbrella. There's a number of ways you can support the business if that's the goal. So primarily you want to get the capital, great, but it's not capital, no capital. It might be if you're not in a position to give capital now, you're going to friend me on Facebook. You're going to recommend a partnership. You're going to bring other customers my way. But our best customers never left it at nothing. The relationship's over.
Right. So be prepared with ways that people can help you, and have those ways to close at the end of the conversation so that you keep it going.
Absolutely.
Right? And that will open up more doors as well.
Absolutely.
And for everything.
Yes. And one of the things that we were talking about too is one of the things with asking is that you have to know what you want and what you need in the first place. So starting with really clarifying that.
Exactly. Start by, you said, creating a list of people you want to ask. Start thinking about having a conversation with yourself about what is it that I need. Because sometimes we don't even stop to do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
One other thing that we found was very empowering for people is when they made these very specific budgets to figure out exactly how much money they needed to raise. When they had their budget itemized really well, they could break it down for people and say, you know what, if you invested $1,000, that $1,000 would enable our business, our pizza shop to get a new oven. And then people can really put that in perspective, and instead of maybe giving nothing or giving $100, say, well, $1,000 would do this really tangible thing. I understand the consequences of my investment.
Yes.
And making people feel a connection.
Making it clear.
Yes,
Yes.
there's
What is it? How is it
consequences,
that I'm
reality.
helping you?
Exactly.
Love
How is
that.
it that I can help you specifically and
What is it going to
concretely?
do? How is your life going to change when I invest? How
Love
is your
that.
business going to change? And then they feel good about themselves. They did something real.
Love that. So let's recap, and then we'll close this impromptu video. So first you have to figure out what it is that you need. And a great way to do that is to itemize, create your budget, make a list of who it is that you want to ask in the first place. Be very specific for what you're asking for, and tell people this will help me pay for X.
This is how you can help.
This is how you can help me.
Or
And
how
then,
you can impact the business or whatever it is.
or it's also presenting it as an opportunity, which is, it is an opportunity. People want to help, they want to contribute, they want to make a difference, and you're offering them an opportunity to make a profit,
Exactly.
to invest in someone's dream and to earn money. And what else did we say?
Lastly?
Offering people multiple ways to support you.
Offering people multiple ways to support you.
So it's not always just about the money. It's about the
Exactly.
whole spectrum.
Exactly.
Cool.
And it's about solidifying that relationship. You never want to lose the relationship by somebody saying no. There's always something they can say yes to if you have the right set of things and you understand that person and what motivates them and what makes them want to get involved.
Yes. So we're going to end this with asking you all, whoever's watching, do check out profounder.com and share it with all your friends if they're looking to raise capital or you're looking to raise capital. And if you're not already subscribed to ladieswholaunch.com, make sure you subscribe to receive our tips. And in New York City, we have meetings every month. In New Jersey, we have meetings every month. And that's it. So,
And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
yeah, thanks.